meet you by the covered bridge, the first day of spring. The monarchs swirl.
Last night I was talking to an artist online that I just met about painting and how I seem to have this painter's block. And I guess he kind of made me feel small when he said, "You mean you can't just sit there with a paintbrush and push some paint around?" Like I was just making this huge deal out of it. I even bought new art supplies a couple weeks ago, and I took them all the way to see my kids and back, 300 miles each way, and I never painted. So I joined Give It 100, and every day I would see that thing go by, that goal to paint, and it was just like annoying me that I still hadn't painted. And I've been doing the Give It 100 for about a week now, and I'm like, no painting. So today I decided to paint no matter what. Nothing was going to stop me from painting today. And it was really hot outside, so I thought, well, I'll clean the house for like an hour and make a place to paint. And I did really try, but there's just no way. It's just too crowded in there, and there's nowhere to put the stuff to get it out of the way. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to have to grin and bear it and paint outside, even though it's 99 degrees out. So I started my painting, interrupted by feeding the chickens, making sure the trees were watered because it was 100 degrees, and climbing, and running back and forth to eat lunch, make sure I had a drink, make sure I was drinking water. So I got the painting started. I was finally getting the hang of it again when it suddenly was getting like hotter, but then it started getting cooler, and I had to move my chair back in the shade since it had moved. The shade had moved, and then all of a sudden it gets windy. So it blows, I'm painting out of paints that were in my face painting kit, so it blows the sponges out of the box, and it blows all the brushes in the dirt, and it's blowing the painting. I'm trying to grab everything, and now I have paint all over my hand, and I'm like, great, is it going to stop? Is this just like a little wind? So I keep going, and meanwhile my boyfriend's working on some arrows, but he goes next door to mow the lady's lawn, so his stuff's all sitting out, his tools, all the arrow shafts. And it starts to rain. So I quickly throw all my stuff in my container and shut the doors, and I'm just picking up all his stuff and putting it in his container because all the rain is blowing right into his container. And I'm like, that's it. No more painting today. So it rained just enough to get everything wet and raise the humidity, and now it's not raining. But at least it's not hot. Still, it's starting to get dark, so I think I'm done.
First day of spring, the monarchs swirl all around with promises to bring. The winter had been bleak and gray before I knew your smile. My heart was encased in ice, and I wouldn't melt for quite a while.